Good morning and welcome to Touchlight. It's another episode of our weekly trends, talking about the trending stories that happens in Nigeria on all social media platforms. And we are talking about some top three trending stories that happens within the week. Number one, I have with me the protests that occur in Abuja and across the nation about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Another is the crisis between actress Regina Daniel and her husband, Senator Ned Boko. And lastly, the recent fire outbreak that occurred at the Alaba International Market last night. I am Mr. Barry, your host. And here with me, I have some guests who are with me to throw more light about these topics we have discussed. And with me, I have
Chimelon Fidelis.
welcome. Thank you. Now we discuss from the number one we have with us here, the protest which is all about the release of Nancy Nnamdi Kanu. I would like my guests to talk about briefly about this protest that occurred the 20th of October. Mr. Henry, please can you tell us one or two about the protest?
Okay, this protest was held on October 20th, and if you remember, it was the same date that the NSAS incident occurred. But Mr. Sowore, who is the man fronting this protest, we expected that because it concerns Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, an IPOB leader that was arrested few years ago, that there would be a massive turnout in Abuja. But unfortunately, the turnout was as low as whatever anybody can imagine. But at the end of the incident, Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother and Nnamdi Kanu's counsel was arrested by the police. But the man in front of this protest, Sowore, who is the person fronting this protest, wasn't arrested. Even when he visited them in the police station, he was still not arrested. And there is this controversy that is coming, that maybe this wasn't a protest about releasing Nnamdi Kanu. Was it maybe about a paid man coming out to just let his voice be heard by the Nigerian? Because at the end of the day, I don't think the aim of this protest was eventually achieved.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bellis, is there any contrary view of about what Mr. Henry just said, or you have more like to talk about this?
Okay, there is no contrary view per se, but things must be put straight.
Okay.
Prior to that protest, Mr. Sowore, to his credit, was moving around Nigeria, calling on all eminent Nigerians to join him on protest. I remember him calling, in fact, he continued the campaign to the level of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the then PDP presidential aspirant, tweeting and commenting, even pledging to join in the protest towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu. His Labour Party counterpart, Mr. Peter Obi, also commented on the issue. Other eminent Nigerians. Yes, I understand people's angle of the protest specifically happening on 20th of October, which marks the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of the NSAS protest. I understand the angle people are coming that it means Mr. Sowore is trying to do the government bidding to then start sacred day, I say, for Nigerian youth. But to Sowore's credit, he has been fighting from his days as NAN's president, from his days as president to NAN's presidency. He has undergone many arrests. I don't want to lay any negative aspersion on his personality and his protest. His quest for free, not only Nnamdi Kanu, free Nigerians, where freedom of speech, where the rights of every Nigerian is respected. So it's just unfortunate that police, in their usual way, brought in a supposed court order stopping the protest. I think that may be the reason for the low turnout. Yes, some people knew that there's a police court injunction stopping the process happening around the selected areas that the protests happened. And we all saw the video of what went on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But before we conclude on this topic, let's talk about the case study of why this protest was scheduled on this set date, 20th of October. Because to our knowledge, we also know that Manzi Nandekali was arrested since during the tenure of late Muhammad Buhari. So, Mr. Henry, do you think the delay of Nandekali stay in the custody stay is it okay, or is any other contract view about him still being there before this protest occurred?
Well, I don't think there is any need still keeping Nnamdi Kanu in their custody after these years. Even the dead president that arrested him is now late. Yes, maybe some of his words to some leaders might not be seen as nice things for somebody to tell what the leaders. But this is a man that loves his people. And what he was demanding from the government was allow my people go in vote because he feels like his people are being cheated in an economy that is for everybody, while some reason of the country is benefiting and his people are suffering. So that was the reason why he started this is movement of IPOB stuff. Yes, there were some violence during that period in time, but it wasn't like he orchestrated the violence because he was even telling his people now, do not do this now with violence. But at the end of the day, he was arrested. And having been arrested for years, now the new president now is now releasing some criminals based on what we've seen.
Yes.
And people are saying, if you're releasing criminal, then why are you not still keeping Nnamdi Kanu? Because some of the people that you're releasing from, you are pardoning from prison this now did even worse than what Nnamdi Kanu did. So I believe there's no point still leaving Nnamdi Kanu except they are just using it politically just because they want to, show their strength that yeah, we are the owners of this country now in favor of these people now. I'm not in favor of these people. That's why they are still doing what they are doing. So this is what I think. But there's no point in leaving Nnamdi Kanu there.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned politically. I would like Mr. Please to talk about when it comes to politically because in the Nigeria politics today, there are some other prominent Igbo men who can still be outspoken when it comes to the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Don't they know why they haven't come out to talk about this? Mr. Please, is there anything you can talk about when it comes to the political aspect of the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Okay, Mr. Henry is correct when he mentioned political people have campaigned for political solution to the problem. The last person the governor of Abia State said and assured that he's in discussion with the president for his release. Mr. P. lastly said that there is no reason to arrest Nnamdi Kanu in the first place. That it would have been a call for them to come to the table to negotiate with the government then in power. But it's actually something that showcases negative impression on our courts and judicial system. To my knowledge, there have been at least 3 different court pronouncements calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So there should have been protests in the first instance if we are in a country that will respect the rule of the law, where judiciary remains the last support of the common man. That's not the case. So we have seen a case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being continued detained for whatever reason, some against cause pronouncement. That's where people are now calling for a political solution. I think political solution will be good if it resolves not only his release, but look into the things that started that agitation, which we know how it went. It ended up bringing security service in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you for your contributions. We hope that the outcome of this protest will lead to his release and we beg on the federal government and its readers to listen or pay attention to the cry of the masses via the release of Mazi Nandokalo and other Nigerians who are not yet in prison, but they are physically working in prison because the life of some Nigerians are like they're in prison already. Okay, let's move over to the next interesting topic also, talking about the crisis between our own actress, the celebrity herself, Mrs. Regina Daniel, and her husband, Ned Woko, Ned Woko. And this has hit the social media platforms, several platforms. I would like my guests here to talk to you about what they feel about this crisis. Mr. Ladies, I will start with you.
Okay, thank you once more. Um, that's an interesting issue. Family wahala, as we call it in Nigeria, is unfortunate that they are involved in celebrity marriage where their issue became a national issue. If not, in virtually every home in Nigeria, there's some form of misunderstanding between husband and wife should have been a private thing. But please, as it may, as everybody now knows about the issue, um, that's a polygamous one. And I think she's the sixth wife of Senator Ned Mo. And we've not really had any issue of Wogo being involved in violence. Unfortunately, it's coming out now. But these are his ways. Now we say, we have seen Wogo's version claiming substance abuse as the major issue bringing crisis into their home. We've seen Regina's side accusing Ned Nwoko of violence and even releasing his dogs to attack her. Many other versions. And now Nigerians are now playing the the referee, the people now for against. But the basic thing I want to say about this is we know what happens with celebrity marriages. I think in their innermost minds, the Regina's innermost mind, she expected this when she was mentioning something like, I would rather cry in a Lamborghini or in a Ferrari than maybe Trek, like we Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians. So I don't want to say she's getting what she bid for, but I think she expected some level of that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Henry, your thoughts to this?
Well, just like my co-host has said concerning this marriage, celebrity marriage is always a celebrity marriage, no matter how you look at it from. But whatever crisis that they are having now, it happens in different ones, or maybe to not this extent that we are seeing because there are known people for everywhere. So what I am thinking about this, I don't know, maybe because if you look at the time frame, or should I say the age gap between Nathaniel and her husband, as at the time of this marriage, not so many people supported the marriage initially. We were saying that it was money motivated, that she not even went to the marriage because she wanted to marry the man, out of love, like not because of the money that the man have that she wanted. Maybe she's not getting what she expected that she thought that she would get in the marriage that bringing this crisis, or the other way around. Maybe what the man thought that he was getting in this marriage is no longer working. Hence this crisis. But we heard about Regina taking hard drugs, this being influenced by people. People will say, but we don't actually know what is really happening because we are not there with them. That is what I think. So I'm not going to look too much into what is happening in Germany because I'm not there with them. But from what we've seen, they started a marriage. They could as well end it whenever they deal fit.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your contributions. I'll leave the rest contributions for our viewers. Drop your contributions at the comment sections. Let's know what you feel, what you think, your contribution. Let's just get your mind at the comment section. Thank you so much. Lastly, we talk about the recent happenings. It's heartbroken because millions of naira has gone down. Talk about the fire outbreak at the Alaba International Market. I want to bring a suggestion. Is it okay for the federal government to build a fire service uh, point at this market, because year in, year out, we have been hearing about this fire outbreak. And Mr. Henry, what do you, how do you see this fire outbreak that occurs year in, year out at the same market, and nothing is done about it?
This Alaba International Market is not the first time that we heard about the fire outbreak, but I'm going to sound a little bit controversial. No, Alaba Market is a market that is being owned most of the sellers in Alaba Market are from a particular region, called the Igbo region of the country. Would this be that maybe they are being targeted almost every time we approach this election cycle? Because this happened around 2023 or thereabout or so. And it was the same period that we finished an election, if I'm not mistaken, and we are close to an election period again, and this thing is happening again. Or could it be another thing that is causing all this fire outbreak? Because I know that some of the materials, may not be okay, but still need another maybe good materials to be brought to the market. Or is it the government of maybe Lagos State that is just doing all these things, or individuals? I can't say honestly. I can't say.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fidelis, I haven't heard what Mr. Henry said. I want to ask you, is it poor security or lack of adequate attention to this occurrence of fire outbreak in this market? So
Okay.
how do you think about this?
Okay, I will not want to go the angle that Mr. Henry is going. I don't doubt that angle, but I'm not interested in that. I'm rather interested in preventive measures and reactions that happen during the fire outbreak. Firstly, it's not only in Anambra market, it has been happening. At least I know a month or two ago, there was a fire at Marina Market, which involved also a section of UBA Bank. There's last one, Arega Market, yes, there was fire also in Arega Market. So it's very occurrence. I'm interested in the market people themselves, whether you go Yoruba and looking into their own system. Start from storage. This recent one, if you read the report, they said it's at the furniture section. You know how flammable things, some of the chemicals they use in the section, plus wood and foam are easy things that in fact increases or encourages fire. Now, the last 2023 fire that Mr. Henry mentioned happened at the gas storage area in that market. There should be standards, certain products are handled. And the onus lies not only in the government, it lies with the market, with the market people, the sellers, to have a standard. Some of the places might be looking like shanty, some of them are poor handling. So they need to stop this constant loss of billions of naira, because sometimes we're talking millions, people's life are shattered. Investments, efforts made through the years, painfully gone within hours. It could be heartbreaking. So there should first be get small training within themselves on basic handling of fire. Yes, they can get that. They know they used to have market association. They can also get their security to understand and implement strict measures to avoid reoccurrence. Now, to the government, we must not take away some form of gains. I don't think, as you pointed, they could have a fire center within not only Alaba, make it more effective. Some of the handlings on there, they claim that they were blocked and whatever. There should not be excuses. Please, we need to resort to accept this negative.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But having said that, this fire outbreak most of the times almost occur at night, and by that time most of the marketers might have gone home. Is there any security measures that can be done in order to prevent this occurring at night? Because most of the incidents occur at Agbakwa International Market and other markets within Lagos. Of course, at night when the marketers might have gone home. Mr. Fidelis, is there anything you can say about the security measures when it comes to this late night fire outbreak when marketers might have gone home?
Okay, firstly, there should be investigation to remove any chance of being as if this is done deliberately. There should be thorough investigation to establish whether it's an act of a deliberate act. That must be established. But beyond that, each of these markets have security men who are supposed not to leave the market. Do you get? So far they are not supposed to leave the market. There should include in the training of these security men direct training on handling fire, handling the basic fire extinguishing equipment that must be available in this market. Some of these starts as small fire before you know it, as I say, furnitures could become very flammable. They expand, meaning that if the security man nearest know how have an available big fire extinguisher or any fire fighting equipment and knows how to use it, the person might have handled the fire, quenched it, or reduced its impact drastically. That's it. It boils down to also handling of some fire sensitive material and shops. What could be? Is it electrical systems? Like I said, when you talk about fireworks, fire involves cylinders. If you're handling cylinder, for example, selling cylinder or selling gas, you know how flammable it could be.
Yeah.
So please, I think that, but I don't also concord with that. Many of the fire, like one in Marina, was not that night. So general, not going back to what I've said before, the things I said before we will look into.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Henry. Is there any contribution towards that?
Just like I said, I said I'm going to be controversial in this. So if this fire outbreak is being targeted at a particular set of people, I believe that you should stop, because the more you target them, the more they will still come back. If you are trying to chase them away, they will not notice that is what you are trying to do. They will even try to come back and more to dominate the market. So again, if it is an intentional something, people should just forget about being intentional by chasing them away, because the more you chase them away, the more they will still discover, and the more they will still come back to dominate the market. So this is just what I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you for the impacts you've given to the viewers also. I'll leave the remaining contributions for our viewers. Drop your contributions on the comment section on the improvements when it comes to the advantages that will lead to how to stop the fire outbreak occurring in the Atlanta international markets frequently. Thank you so much. I also want to thank you people for your time to view this and go through our trends for the week. Please do well to follow and like our pages. We are Touchlight News on Facebook. Our Instagram page is Touchlight News NG. On Twitter, which is X, we are at Touchlight News _. You can also see us on your YouTube pages. We are Touchlight News. And you can search us at www.touchlightnews.com. That's our website. You can go there and search for more of interesting news and stories that occurs in Nigeria and across Nigeria. Thank you, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.